This is the Political Spotlight.
The political spotlight is a joke. It's more like a political flop.
Nobody listens to Bilbrey.
He's just a wannabe podcaster. No one takes him seriously.
He is a rude, crude dude that will never go any further than broadcasting from his mother's basement.
Bilbrey is a wrecking ball for Indiana politicians.
Grab another box of Twinkies and generic cola, Bilbrey.
And get back to your microphone and your audience of nobodies.
The political spotlight is a joke.
It's more like a rude, crude dude that will never go
Bilbrey's a wrecking ball for Indiana politics. Shut that stupid Bilbrey up.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. We are here, and it's Sunday, fun day. We're going back to work tomorrow, which means we are all back to work tonight. Well, not we, me. Producer Kate is not here, as not only is it Mother's Day, but it is also her and Niall's anniversary. So they're off celebrating the anniversary, and I think she will be back tomorrow, either tomorrow or Tuesday. So we wish them a very big, special, happy anniversary, and obviously a Mother's Day, as we wish all of you out there, the mothers that make up our chat, a very, very happy Mother's Day. All of you mothers out there that are in the listening audience, whether you be mothers attached to married, attached to fathers, single mothers, fathers that are acting as both father and mother, all of you out there, happy Mother's Day. And, the world would not go round without you. So welcome and happy day. Hope you're having a good day and you were able to relax and get everything that you wanted, or was able to, be peaceful, whatever you hoped for today. Very big special shout out to my mother and my grandmother. Happy Mother's Day to them and all the other mothers in my life. I've got a lot of them, let me tell you. So I will tell you it's going to be a little weird in here. I'm not going to be messing with the chat nearly as much as Kate does, because first of all, right as I was logging on, I realized I knew when I was over, when I had the guest last week and I was in the other half of the studio down here, when I was in Studio B, we'll call it, my Mac that I was using, which is the Mac that I generally use for a monitor, kept telling me that I needed to plug in and charge my mouse. See, I have a mouse that runs my main computer. I have a mouse that runs my laptop, that's a Windows. And then I have another mouse that runs my secondary Mac. That's the monitor Mac. And it kept telling me that I needed to charge it. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll get to that. I'll get to that real soon. And then like 2 days after that, which is like election day, or the day, like Wednesday after election day, it was telling me I also needed to charge my keyboard. So here my keyboard is for the main Mac. And then here the keyboard is for the monitor Mac. And now that we're live here on Sunday, May 10th, I have a dead mouse and a dead keyboard. So we are down a monitor and we don't have Kate. So needless to say, we are kind of all over the place. So bear with me. We will get through this. I promise it's still going to be a great episode. I've got a lot to talk about. And it's not going to be a long show because I spent most of the day out helping my mother. We went and she wanted to buy a bunch of flowers to plant, and she wanted to buy some like garden type things, like some tomatoes and cucumbers and things. And so I rototilled a garden today and helped her hoe up the garden, and we planted some garden plants, garden vegetables. And we did that. And then she actually wanted me to help her with a few more things. And so I'm going to cut this short tonight and try and assist her if I can with that. But we do have a good show that's going to actually set a couple of other things up later in the week. And I think it's important to kind of get through this. So we're going to be talking tonight. Tonight's episode is the 660th episode. Cannot believe it. We are so close to 700. That's absolutely nuts. While you're here at the beginning of the show, if you would be so kind to smash that like button. If you're on YouTube, give us a like, click the bell, subscribe, do all of that stuff. If you want to communicate with us, I know that we're not here and putting up the comments the same that Kate normally does. Look here. Here's my grandmother's comment. Good evening. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Danny, welcome. Admiral Eric, Linda, thank you all for being here. Let's see here. MLM Warrior, nice hair. I love it. You guys are loving on the hair. If you're liking the hair, hit that like button and let me know how much you love it because that's the main thing here. Let's see here. What's up with this on time crap? Now I'm like, no, we're not on time. What are you talking about? This was really bad. Listen, I do my very best, my very, very, very best to not be much later than like 6 after. When you listen to the radio, in the radio world, on time is 6 minutes after. And so I get really nervous if we're not ready to go at 9 o'clock. But if it's much past 6 o'clock, I'm having a breakdown. I think we actually went live at 9:08 tonight, and I'm like, 2 minutes late. That's not good. That's not good. So yeah, that's crazy. You need a trackpad you can charge while you use it. Yeah, I know. You know what? I've been looking into those. I hate the trackpads on the regular on like Windows. So I'm hoping that a trackpad on Mac would be better. I hope. We'll have to see. I don't know what's going on, but we'll have to see. Yeah. So a couple people are saying 3 shot earlier today in Muncie. I've not heard anything about the body found in Henry County. Didn't know anything about that. Charlize is saying multiple shootings today here in where are you at? You're in Maine now? Lewiston, Maine. Is that right? Something in the water, she says. Definitely something in the water here in Muncie. I don't know what's going on in Lewiston, but there's definitely something in the water here. We, of course, have been talking about that for a while. Jeremy Godsey, hello. Oh, look, Jeremy Godsey is on Facebook. What's wrong with you, Jeremy? Today better than Windows. Oh, totally better than Windows. Yes. All right, I will check that. I will check that out. I will definitely check that out. So yeah, if you could smash that like button and do us a favor, that would be fantastic. Subscribe if you haven't. That would be wonderful. So the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, now that we're through the Mother's Day well wishes, we're going to be talking about Mother's Day, which we've already done. I'm going to give you a little bit of an update and talk to you about the latest on the Knightstown situation. The latest on Knightstown for those that are familiar who watched last Thursday. If you didn't watch last Thursday's show, you really need to watch last Thursday's show. It gives you a lot of great information about that situation down there, and it's something that all people need to be aware of, even if they're not in Knightstown. If they're like, I don't even know where Knightstown is, that's perfectly fine. The information we talked about is important. The other part of the show, the first half of that show, was a good show as well, because we talked about the Delaware County, Indiana commissioners and what's going on there. There's a fight over the claims, over credit card issues, county employees not following through on doing what they need to do that the ordinance has set up for the credit cards. And I think we're going to start seeing some strange things going on. I'm following both of those situations, and I told you that we would be talking about both of those situations over the next several coming days and weeks, and that's going to be true. I've got some record requests into the county. I've got some emails into people in the county. I've talked to some sources, some county employees, and I'm waiting to kind of put all of that together, and we should have some information soon. As far as the Knightstown situation goes, we're coming to an end on that. We're going to have a resolution one way or another on that. They have to certify the election on or before let me double check here. I don't want to say the wrong date. They have to certify the election in Knightstown on or before Friday the 15th. So I don't know when the Henry County Election Board meeting will be. I will be at the Henry County Election Board meeting. We will watch it all go down, and I will bring it all to you, and we will have it there for everyone to see. I will I don't know if I will live stream that or I will record it, but we will get it in its entirety because it's something that needs to be seen. I don't remember how well the live streaming works in the area that they use, but if it doesn't, I will take my camera equipment and I will have both set up to where we can either live stream and or record it so we can definitely watch it because I think this is important. But either way, we should have we should be coming to an end on this, meaning they're going to make a decision, something's going to happen, and we will know. And I will keep you guys posted on that. We'll be talking about that a little bit more here in a second. And then after that, I want to talk about just a couple of situations. There have been a couple things that have popped up, some very crazy things. So we'll get through the Knightstown situation here in just a few moments. And then we're going to talk about, in the more section, we're going to talk about a man being arrested for refusing to provide name and address at a public meeting in Hobart, Indiana. I'm sure if you've been on social media in the Indiana area, you will have seen this. It's being shared everywhere. And what's wild to me is that it wasn't like a violent ordeal. He was just up there standing. He was not being loud. He wasn't, to anything I've seen, wasn't like cursing or being, just crazy. Was just standing up there and was not going to give his name to speech. Clearly does not have to. Okay. The city or town council in Hobart apparently has created some sort of illegal law that they call law, which it's not a law. It's some kind of illegal rule or some kind of illegal nonsense that they say that you need to sign and give your name and date of birth. And I'm being facetious, that you need to give your name and address, but we know that they can't do that. And that's apparently never been challenged before, but this gentleman challenged them, thank God. And I think we have set up to talk to him on the phone. Producer Kate set it up so I can have a phone conversation with him tomorrow. And I hopefully am going to set it up to where we can have him on the program and he can tell you guys what's happening from his perspective and what they're doing or what they're going to do. And so hopefully we can deal with all of that. I've been in his shoes. I was arrested for speaking at a meeting. I went through the process. I filed a lawsuit and fought that beast, and we came out victorious. So I want to pass along some information to him, and I also want to pick his brain and get him on the program if we can. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about, this is kind of a funny thing. It's not really serious. It's kind of serious. It's not really serious. More, can Muncie, can M-U-N-C, no I-E, buy an iPad? And I'm sure it's possible. I'm sure that we can buy an i. I'm sure it would cost lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money. I'm going to talk about this, and this is going to be kind of a lighthearted thing because I don't This is not nearly as serious as a lot of other things, but we'll end the show talking about that. So before we get started here, if you would, please like, subscribe, do all of that stuff, and let us know you love us. We don't charge you money for content. We don't have Patreon. We give it all to you here. We're on YouTube, Facebook, X, Rumble, and all major podcast hosting sites. If you're somebody that would rather listen than watch, you can find us on iTunes and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podcast, or whatever they have. We can be found literally everywhere. If you listen to a podcast platform and you can't find us, if you use some strange place and you're like, hey, I've tried to look for you there, but I can't find you, let us know, and we will make a partnership with them, and we will get on that platform. We're like on 40 different platforms now, but there's still some, there's new ones that we get attached to every day. So please do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me get back here to the comments here, and let me see what's going on. Wait, what is Sproles in Hobart now? Yeah, yes. Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah. So let me ask you, BJ. So did you get a chance to have you get a chance to watch Thursday's show? I don't know if you did or not. I can't remember who's on there or not. If you didn't watch Thursday's show, it gives a really good explanation. This is, and I'll say this again. This is something that will probably shock a lot of people. And it shocked me, knowing everything that I know and being involved in politics and doing this for as long as I've done it. This is something that shocked me. So when the election board certifies the what we call certifies the election or certifies the results, they are not actually or not technically certifying the results of the election. What they are doing is they are certifying the vote totals, and what it means is simply that if, I'm just going to use just a round number, if 200 people voted in the 3 precincts that make up the town of Knightstown, okay, what did I say? Let's say 300, 100 in each. If 300 people voted in the 3 precincts that make up Knightstown, so 100 in precinct 1, 100 in precinct 2, and 100 in precinct 3. All the election board is doing is they are certifying that 100 people voted in those 3 precincts, and we have 300 votes. If there's something wrong with the vote, it's not on the election board to challenge that or to question that. What has to happen is a candidate or a person with standing has to challenge that in court, and then a judge has to say, okay, this requires a special election. And listen, I don't like that. I'm not okay with that. I don't like that. I wish that the election board could do it. I think that the election board needs to do it. I want the election board to be able to do it. In order for that to happen, we are going to have legislative assistance. We're going to have to reach out to state representatives, state senators, and we're going to have to ask them to take a look at this, and they're going to have to change the Indiana law. They're going to have to change Indiana code, and they're going to have to write in new legislation which will allow the election board to assist in this process. Now, immediately to me, I say we need to reach out to Corey Criswell. I'm going to be reaching out to Corey Criswell. He is the state representative down in this area. I'm going to be reaching out to him. I'm going to try and tell him my issues here. I'm going to try to talk to him about what I think the fixes could be. And then we really need to, we need to reach out to more than just him, because we need to make this needs to be something that can go through. And in my opinion, it needs to go through in this next session, and it should be something that all of them are willing to vote on, all of them are willing to work on, and all of them are willing to get behind. Because it's not something that affects them negatively. It's not something, this is something that should be an easy thing to fix. So that's what we're going to do. That being the case, that might be fine for later on down the road. That doesn't do anything to fix this problem now. So, okay, if anyone has any questions about what we're talking about, if anyone's concerned about this, if you didn't watch last Thursday's episode, I would highly recommend going back and watching last Thursday's episode. That was episode 659, and it's the later half of the show. Down at the bottom, it'll say innies and outies, and that's the part of the show that you will want to watch. Okay, so I'm going to bring up some emails here that we have. I've asked for from the Henry County Clerk's office, because I know there have been some emails going back and forth in this deal with Knightstown. So I want to bring this up. I want to make sure that you guys out there are aware of this, and I want people to be aware of what's going on with this, and I want everyone to know kind of what's happening here. So I'm going to bring these let me take a look here. I'm going to bring these emails up, and then we're going to look through these, and then we'll talk about kind of like what's going to happen from here on forward. Okay. I did reach out to the clerk's office on Friday, at the end of the day Friday. I asked them to provide me any and all emails that they received or that they have sent in connection with this, because I wanted to be able to go through this. And then tomorrow morning, I will be reaching out to them, and I will find out when the election board meeting will be held. It could be tomorrow. I doubt it'll be tomorrow. It'll probably be something like Tuesday or Wednesday, or it could be on Friday, but it will be this week. So we will look at that. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring this up really quickly. If you could, we will get to the Muncie thing and the Muncie Parks. I know Jackie Fisher had a question about the Muncie Parks. We're going to talk about that next. That's going to be the next thing we talk about. But just sit tight on that, and we're going to bring this up, and we're going to talk about this. Go through these emails. So if you could, ladies and gentlemen, just sit tight. We'll be right back, and we will go through these emails in connection with the Knightstown election situation. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. So this is email number 1, and I'm going to blow this up here so you guys can see this. I want to be able to Why? Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Let me see. You guys should be able to see that now. Yeah, okay. So, all right. This was sent out by the elections division of the the Henry County, Henry County Clerk's Office. On Friday at about 9:23 a.m. And this was sent out to the candidates that are involved. Okay. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, there are two candidates that ran for Knightstown town clerk. Okay. The incumbent and a challenger, both Republicans. And then there are 4 candidates that ran for, there are 2 at-large positions on the Knightstown town council. And there are 2 of these at-large positions. 4 candidates ran. All right. Of those 4 candidates, only 3 of the candidates were like hardcore running. One of them was like a name only, paper only. I'm on the name, or I'm on the paper. My name's on the paper. They didn't do anything. So really, there's only a total of actually 5 candidates that ran for election, but there are technically 6 total. 4 from the council race and 2 from the clerk's race. So the clerk's office sent this out. It says, "Dear 2026 primary candidates for Knightstown Clerk, Treasurer, and Knightstown Town Council. On the morning of May 5th, 2026, after voting had begun, we became aware of a programming error on ballots accessible to voters residing in Wayne Precinct 1, Wayne Precinct 2, and Wayne Precinct 3. The error allowed a number of voters residing outside of the town of Knightstown to potentially vote in the Knightstown town clerk, treasurer, and town council race. Vote for those people. After becoming aware of this error, we have received numerous inquiries as to what will occur. We are writing this letter to hopefully address some of your questions. There is no method to identify ballots that improperly cast votes for town offices." Okay. I want to be clear. I myself, Kristopher Bilbrey, I have contacted the highest of the high level folks in Indiana election law, in Indiana election work, at the Indiana Secretary of State's office, the election division, various people throughout different election boards throughout different counties. This is 100% factual information. There is not a way for them to identify these ballots. And misinformed, the same thing. I'm going to give you a quick rundown, but I will tell you, if you're interested in hearing about this, I speak in depth about this on Thursday's episode 659. But essentially what happened, and this is the easiest thing to understand, it's not some kind of like somebody was trying to get somebody. This was, accidents happen. Okay. People are human, machines, technology fails, and people make mistakes. Things happen all the time. The long and the short of this is, before this election, Knightstown always ran their own election. So I don't know how they ran that, but they could have done this as simple as how they do it in Iraq. They could have told their town people to come in and dip their thumb in purple paint and put a purple mark if they want John Doe, or yellow paint if they want, Jane Doe, or red paint if they wanted Tom, Dick, or Harry. they could have done that any number of ways. They could have done it on old ballots. They could have just simply taken a piece of paper and put a mark on it, or voted a name, done something very simple. I don't know how they ran their ballots and their elections in the past. It doesn't matter. What does matter is leading into this election, sometime in 2022, 2023, they decided to no longer run their own town elections. They wanted the Henry County Clerk's office to run them. So for the first time, they handed, what they did was they handed their elections over to the clerk's office. And differently than, say, like, so for I know you're from Delaware County. So like the town of Eaton in Delaware County, Eaton is all in its own area. Okay. So that's fine. The town of Knightstown is not in its own area. That does not happen. Knightstown is broken up into different sections, and those sections, some of those people live inside the town and some of them live outside the town. So that's essentially how this has happened. It was an oversight with the programming. The programming did not have the proper maps. Now that's an easy fix, and they can fix it, and this will never happen again. But unfortunately, it did happen, and now we have to rectify this. Okay, moving on back to the email. There's no method to identify ballots that improperly cast votes for town offices. We cannot determine if any or how many voters that reside outside of Knightstown cast votes for town office. Thus, all votes must be counted. So they will count all the votes when they are certifying this current election. Indiana Code 3-12-8-1 sets forth the process by which a special election may be ordered by a court, and the court is the only body that can issue the order for a special election. The clerk can't do it. The town board can't do it. The commissioners can't do it. The election board can't do it. It has to be a judge, and it has to be a court order. The election board cannot unilaterally conduct a special election or request a court to enter into that order that for a special election to occur. And that's the big thing. That's what's really big, okay? The election board, from what I'm gathering, the members of the election board would like to be able to assist in this matter, but the law does not allow them a mechanism to do it. There's no way that they can do it. Their hands are tied, okay? So, and the other crazy thing is the law says that the election board has to survey or has to certify the election. They don't have a choice. There's no choice. They have to certify it, which is wild to me. Okay, that's just, it's really, this is really a problem that again, I'm going back to saying this is really a problem that in my mind, the Indiana legislators need to fix. The state house, they need to fix this so that this does not happen anymore, and that there are ways to deal with this. Okay. Who would have standing to file a suit for a special election? Oh, look, we got Kate Thornburg from wherever Kate Thornburg is. I don't know where she's at, but she's in I keep wanting to say honeymoon, but Anniversary-ville, taking the night off, kind of not taking the night off because she's here in the chats. So we did offer you and wish you a very happy anniversary and Mother's Day, by the way, if you're, Nashville, Indiana. Yeah, that's a beautiful place. So that's wonderful. Well, you guys have fun down there. So that's a great question that Kate has put up for people to see this. And I know that other people have questions for this. So the person or people that would have standing, in my opinion, any of the candidates would have standing, and anyone that voted in the election that would be a town citizen. So, for example, if I live right downtown by the Hoosier Gym, and I definitely live inside the city limits, town limits of Knightstown, and I'm not a candidate, but I voted and I wanted to make sure that my votes count and everything's legitimate, I fully believe that I would have standing as a citizen of Knightstown to file suit. If I was a candidate for council or a candidate for the clerk's office, I would have standing. I also believe it's possible. No, that would be the only people. Who wouldn't have standing is the election board, the clerk, anybody outside of Knightstown. I think if you voted in Wayne 1, 2, or 3, but you weren't in the county, I don't even think you would have standing there. I think you would only have standing if you were a candidate for one of those offices or if you were a voter. Okay, that's. Let's go on and read this. Maybe we'll hear more. Okay. So, Indiana Code 31281 sets forth the process by which a special election may be ordered by a court. The election board cannot unilaterally conduct a special election or request a court to enter and order that a special election occur. Good evening, Brenda. Be advised that any petition seeking a special election must be filed within 14 days after the election. Okay, let's determine what that time period looks like. Okay, let's determine what 14 days after the election is. So let me see here. Tuesday. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. What I don't understand about this is they have 14 days to do this. So that will actually could very likely fall after the period that they will certify. So just FYI, that happens. So they have 14 days. If somebody does not file a challenge, a petition with the court within that 14 days, then the certification will stand. Okay. So preparing and filing such a petition is a complicated process. If you are considering filing a petition seeking a special election, we strongly recommend that you consult with and retain an attorney to represent you in the process. Representatives of the election board and the clerk's office will provide any attorney that you retain with information regarding what has occurred, will cooperate with the filing of a petition, and attend and testify if necessary at any hearing that may occur on the petition. Due to the nature of the error, the election board will also consider requests from candidates to be reimbursed for costs occurring to filing a petition. Oh, that's very interesting. See, I did not know that. So I just want to let everybody know that I truly believe that the election, I'm frozen. Well, oh, could you hear me, but you couldn't see me? Yes, give me a second here. Let me see if I can fix that. That's my bad. Kate and I found that problem. Give me 1 second here, and I think I can fix that. I apologize. Give me 1 second, and we can get that fixed. Okay. My apologies. We are trying to, because when I'm off screen, it does that for some unknown reason. It shouldn't do that. I'm trying to find out why it's doing that. It shouldn't do that, but it is what it is. Yeah, you could hear me. That's the big thing. Okay, so here's the deal. That last line is really big. Due to the nature of the error, the election board will also consider requests from the candidate or candidates to be reimbursed for costs incurred in filing a petition. What that means is anybody that files this petition will likely have to pay court costs. Okay, will have to pay a filing debt, a filing fee, and all of that. I'm shocked that they say that the election board will consider that, and I because to me that's they're saying we are willing to go above and beyond anything that we can do to fix this. We want to fix this. We want to help you fix this. We realize that this is an error that was not your fault. This was an error that we were not able to remedy. We wish we could remedy this. We wish there was something in place, but unfortunately, there's nothing in place that allows us to do this at this time. And so, unfortunately, we're kind of SOL here, and we're willing to help you in any way possible. So I think that's a really big thing. I appreciate that they're willing to do that. And to me, that should speak volumes to what they're thinking about here. All right. So that's the end of that email. Okay. That email went out at, I want to write this down. So I want to make sure we go in order. That email went out on May 8th at 9:23 a.m. Okay. So now let's go and check the other emails here. Give me 1 second. We'll get brought back down here to real life, and give me a second. Okay. That's fair. It's what good government should do. Let me tell you this misinformation. So, without naming you or who you are, I know who you are, and I will tell you, I know that you know what it's like to appear in front of an election board that is not fair, that is not willing to work to do the best and to do what's right for the citizens or the process. I know that for a fact, you know what it's like to have shitty service with the election board. You can name me. I'm David Williams. There's so many David Williams, ladies and gentlemen. This is my cousin from another brother, and I refer to him as my nephew. He refers to me as his nephew. We don't know what's going on. The number one thing is, at least I'm not my own grandpa. That's the big thing. I'm not the sheriff. Who shot the sheriff? Okay, so here's the deal. So you know what it's like to have a shitty, your Uncle Buck. You know what it's like to have a shitty election board. I can tell you, the election board in Henry County does its damnedest to do a good job. And the clerk's office does a damn good job. The clerk, Jenny Grubbs, Ashley, they do the very best that they can do. And so I hate when things like this occur. When things like this occur and people question what's happening, like, I get why people question it. Like, I get why people would not be okay with, like, and they would say, oh my God, this is really bad. You did this or this happened. Like, I get why people would be weird about things, but I promise everybody that I truly believe they're doing the very best here, that they can. Okay, moving on. This is in the line of emails, okay, that we are receiving, that the clerk's office sent me earlier. They sent me Friday. So we have at the same day at 10:49, okay, 10:49, We have an email from Carla Gorman says, please send all future communications regarding special election to each candidate's personal email address. Okay, and I agree. I saw this. I was confused. Using Bart's official town email account for elections-related matters is not appropriate under Indiana law governing the use of public resources, IC Code 3.14.1 and town ethics rules. Just trying to keep everything clean. Respectfully, Carla. And I can tell you, I absolutely agree with that. Matter of fact, when I saw that first email that came out, I was shocked. I was shocked that the email went to Bart. Now, because Bart is currently the town council or town clerk of Knightstown. Now, I don't know if that's just what they had or if he's sent them things in the past from there, but that is a big no-no. So I'm glad that was brought up. I think that was the absolute best thing to do, and it should have been. It should have been done. I'm glad that everybody's trying to keep on the up and up down here. I think that's a very good thing to do. So that got sent. I'm just seeing if there's anything there. So then that was the second email that I received. Okay, so let's go on here and to get email number 3. Email number 3 then was sent. Let's see here. 2/11/4. Okay. Then email number 3 was sent. Okay, and so see, now I kind of have a problem with this because, give me just a second here. Pull this up. Okay, even after that email was sent by the other candidate asking that everybody use their own private email, later in the day at 2:11, we've got Bart here who's sending the email still from townofknightstown.in.gov, which is a problem. And he says, can I ask the question, how did this error occur with the mapping company that did the ballot? And I guess I don't understand that question. I mean, maybe we have to ask the mapping company, the people who ran the software. Okay, are they liable? I mean, anybody could. You'd probably have to ask an attorney that. You're not going to get that answer, in my opinion, from the clerk's office. I don't think the clerk's office should give that answer. If no one files a petition to the court, illegal votes are going to be certified on May 15th and no special election. So I want to be clear on this. I don't know when Henry County Election Board is going to certify their votes. I don't know if it's May 15th, if that's the day, or when it's going to happen. But by the 14th day of the deadline, if no one petitions the court, then the votes are going to stand, and Guy Laux and the Maddox gentlemen are going to be the winners of the council race, and Gorman will be the winner of the clerk's race. If no one files a petition, that's just the end. That's the end of the line. If a petition is not filed, then this election will be certified the way that it currently falls. Now, I fully believe that all of the candidates could get together and decide we're okay with that. And I will say this. If the candidates get together and the candidates are okay with that, then I don't think I think that should be done. I think if the candidates say, I'm not going to fight this and we'll just let this be the way it'll be and we'll do it again in 4 years, that's up to them, and that could be a choice they can make. I'm not saying that's the right choice or the wrong choice, but if that's the choice they make, I don't think it would be then for the public to say, no, we don't like that, we don't like that. Because first of all, the public might very well have a standing to file a suit if they vote in the town. So nothing stops, in my opinion, a citizen from attempting to do that, a voter. But if no citizen does it, okay, if no citizen does that and no counselor does that or no clerk does that candidate, then I would leave it be. Stumblefoot says small town politics can affect more than town residents in rare instances, and I believe this is the instance. But here's the thing. This doesn't in any way affect. This doesn't have any negative effect. If they leave this alone, it doesn't have any effect on any other race outside. Or if they challenge this, it doesn't have any. This is only affecting those two offices, the clerk's office and who won. And it could, in hindsight, I don't see how that, you're going to have to tell me how you think that could be. I don't see, because it won't affect the election in Henry County in any way. You're going to have to explain to me why or how you think that might be. Sproul still lost. Sproul still lost. That's what matters. Okay. That is very true too. Let me see here. Let me get this back. Give me 1 second. Sorry. I'm trying to get this settled here. Okay. All right. And then, so Bart had asked that question on the email that was filed. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that in a second. Okay. So then moving on. Okay, so that's the email. That email went out at 2:11. Okay, and that sets us up for 2:11. Okay, and then this is 4:14. So let me go and see if this other one is sooner. Okay, no. Okay, so at then 4:14, the elections answered, answered Bart. Okay, so, all right, here we go. Elections answered Bart at 4:14 on the same day, saying, oops, sorry about that, saying, he's kidding, Kate. It's about a topic we're going to be talking about. She said, elections, the clerk's office says, Bart, our software vendor, ES&S, programmed our ballots from the information we provided to them. So I don't believe that the vendor would be liable in any way. She goes on to say, on May 15th, 2026, by 3 p.m., we are to certify to the state the numbers of votes that were canvassed, not that they are correct. And that is very, 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 very important. It's just how many votes were made at each polling place, and that those votes are counted and they are found. And that is again the situation. All right. So I have to double check on when this is. Okay. So then Greg Morlock, who I don't know who Greg Morlock is. I guess he's an attorney. Greg Morlock says, I definitely think you should hire someone to represent either all three of you or individual attorneys. I don't think there would be a conflict using one attorney. However, neither Mike nor I are conversant with election law, and we would hate to do something that would result in there not being a special election. I would suggest you call Russell Brown, since you know him, and see if he or someone in his firm might represent the three of you in this action. I will tell you, I, not being an attorney, I have filed petitions to ask the court for various things like recount and other things like this. An individual can do it. You don't have to hire an attorney. It can be done. It's not difficult, and there are ways to look into doing that. And I am not going to, in any stretch of the town, I am not going to help anyone with this. Like, I'm not going to do it for them. If anyone out there wants to call and ask questions, if you want me to send you what I've done, I will gladly send you documents that I filed and walk you through the process. You could pay me, I guess. Now, I don't know that you could pay. I don't know what the law would be. I mean, you could pay me for my time. I'm not an attorney. I could I could type up some documents, but I can't get involved in all that just because it's a pain in the ass. I would recommend hiring an attorney if you're going to do it, but you could do it if you're a genius. If you're a genius, you could probably do it. I will tell you, I'm joking. It's not as hard as people make it out. I will tell you now, I am kind of starting to have a problem with the town's involvement in this. I don't think that as a candidate, I don't know. Listen, I want to be very clear. I don't know Bart. I would know Bart if he came up and walked up to me. I don't know Bart from anyone. Okay. Do not know Bart. I'm not supportive of Bart. I'm not supportive of Carla. I don't care who wins. I don't care who loses. I don't know who's good, who's bad. Maybe they're both good. Maybe they're both bad. I don't know anything about these people. I do have a problem with Bart continuing to use his town email, and I don't understand why he would be reaching out to the town attorney. The town attorney, in my opinion, should not be representing him in this case. Even if he was a genius in campaign law, I would not like that. And I think that Bart is dancing really closely to doing things here that's not appropriate, because he's using his town of Knightstown email. We're asking the town attorney. I got a real problem with this. So just an FYI, I don't like this, and the people of Knightstown should not like that. Okay. Bart should know better. I'll just say it like that. Bart should know better. And if he doesn't, that's a problem. All right. So then, at 4:10, I'm full of what ifs these days. So then at 4:10 is when the the Henry County elections sent back the email saying our software vendor is ES&S programmed by our ballots from the information we provided to them. And May 15th, okay, is when we are to certify to the state the number of votes that were canvassed, not that they are correct. So then Bart emailed back again at 4:24 using his town email. He emailed back the following: number of votes that were canvassed, not that they are correct. And then he writes back, okay, well, it looks like this was the situation we are in. Well, since we know, I think the prudent thing to do would be to try and rectify it by going off people's address that we know can vote and check each address at the door that they receive the correct ballot. I appreciate your due diligence and tenacity on this. I really do. Bart! Dude, what are you not getting, bro? There's no way to rectify this. Dude, are you out there? I hope you're listening. Because now I'm really starting to get confused, and I'm really starting to wonder if you're not the right guy for this job. What are you not getting, bro? There is no way to rectify this at this point. The way to rectify this is to hire an attorney and petition the court. Quit sending nonsense back to the elected clerk here. The way that you rectify this, bro, is to hire an attorney and petition the court. This should not be this difficult. I also see down here that not only in this time did he send it with his town email here, town of Knightstown .in.gov, okay, but yeah, I also see that he's now attaching his card to this. This is a problem. This is a problem. I've got a problem with this. What are we doing? Why are you doubling down on using town crap? Quit doing that. You made my dog jump when you yelled Bart. Hello. Sorry, doggy. I'm surprised mine didn't. Where's she at? No. She can't jump. She's only got 3 legs. What am I talking about? No, she jumps just fine. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to reach out to Bart and figure out what's going on here, because this is getting nuts. He's gonna have to slow down on the weirdness. You can't go door to door. That violates people's privacy and right to vote. Or I don't even know what. Okay, well, it looks like that's the situation we're in. Well, since we know, I think the prudent thing to do would be to try and rectify it by going off people's address that we know can vote and check each address at the door that they receive the correct ballot. I mean, moving forward, the machines will be able to be programmed, so this won't ever be a problem again. What we've got to do now is decide if you guys are going to have a special election or not. How is it legal for him to handle campaign business on city time? That would also not be okay. That would also not be okay. Now, I will tell you that last week was the election, and I do know a lot of people, like a lot of elected officials that were running, took like the whole week off. So maybe he took the week off. I'll give him that benefit of the doubt. I will find out if he was at work on Friday, and if he was at work at Friday, specifically if he was at work Friday between 8 and 4 or sometime between that period, that's a problem. Now, I do hear that he works a lot in the evenings, so he might not have been at work at this time. I don't know. But I will look into that, because that is also a problem. Like, they need to be campaigning and doing campaign time and campaign work off the clock. That, that's just here's what's really going to kill me is when we find out he was sitting in the town building, the Knightstown building, writing these emails from his town email account back and forth all day long and sending this to the town attorney. That I'm going to have a major problem with. Here's the thing. This is an easy fix, and they don't need to dig the hole any deeper. we don't. Nothing worse than a small hatchback, especially when you have a small hatchback violation. I knew what you were saying. That's hilarious. Hey, Bart, you got a small hatchback violation, bro. Oh God, those small hatchbacks. So those are the emails. I've got a little problem with how some of these emails went out and some of the things that were going on here. I don't know. I don't like it. We'll see what we can do to fight around this and to maybe get everybody back on track and to stop with all of this, because like I said, I don't like, give me 1 second. I know I'm paused. I don't like what has been happening here. One more second. I got to be paused. And I don't like what's been happening. And I think that, oops. Damn it. Hold on. Sorry. I don't like what's happening here. And I don't like that they're using those the town stuff. I think they need to fix that. So we'll deal with that and we'll try to get this back on track. We'll see what goes on. All right. Moving on from here, we are now going to move into the more arrested for refusing to provide name and email address. That's what we're going to talk about now. And then we're going to end the program with, can Muncie buy an eye, Pat? Oh, I'm sure that's possible. That's the Parks, Muncie Parks thing we're going to talk about. So we're going to hit that up, and we're going to talk about that next. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, share the show if you haven't done that, and we'll be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we are going to be dealing with this situation that everybody and their brother has been sharing to me from Hobart, Indiana. For those of you that are not too up on your Indiana geography and the locations of where Hobart, Indiana might be. For those of you that are unfamiliar, we are finding out that this is way up in the region. Okay, this is going to be dealing with region people, and you know how they can get. All right, this is up in the northwestern side of Indiana. I actually thought about going here. They're going to have they're going to have a Hobart City council meeting on May 20th. And I'm sure that this is going to be a big shit show. I considered going up here for that. If I do, I'll probably spend the night up there because there's no place I hate going in the world. Rather, I like Chicago. I like the region. I love that area of Indiana. I don't have a problem with it personally. I hate the drive. I would much rather get in a car and drive 14, 15 hours in any other direction. For some unknown reason, my dad never liked the drive going up there. I don't like the drive going up there. It's just something that's passed down from in my genes, I guess. It's just something I've never ever enjoyed, and it's dreadful. So I am going to have to see what we're going to do here, because I really considered going up there. But Hobart is up in the far reaches of Indiana here. I'm going to put this up here so you guys can see. We will share this up here, and we'll put this up for you guys to see. Hobart here, as you can see, is way up here. New Chicago, Lake Station. And we're going to pull this back, and you can see how close we are up here to being in Chicagoland. I mean, hell, it's basically Chicago. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's like the Chicago part of Indiana. So they have a city council meeting, a planning commission meeting. They've been doing this all over, basically dealing with the data centers. And are they going to get a data center? Do they want a data center? Do they not want a data center? And I think what's happening is I think that there are a lot of people up there that feel like they're not being listened to. And so that, that sucks. So going here to Fox 32 Chicago, Chicago news, okay? I hate this. I like it and I hate it at the same time. I look at this and I'm saying, man, if only social media and recording meetings were a thing back when I was in the Winchester City Council meeting back in November of 2017, man, this shit would be so much bigger. We would be blown up everywhere, but there was no, the recordings we got of it were like like caveman recordings, and it's just not like it is now. So that kind of sucks. So video shows man removed, arrested at Indiana data center meeting. Man, this is getting crazy. You always can tell when the elected officials are doing things on the fly that shouldn't be done, that are very questionable, because they just are so quick to throw you out of that meeting, to attempt to arrest you. It's nonsense. It's nonsense to see this, okay? Hobart, Indiana, a public meeting about planned data center between Amazon and NIPSCO resulted in one man getting kicked out and later arrested. That's what's crazy. He was kicked out, then he was later arrested. What we know. Pablo Payan from Maryville, Indiana, is from Maryville, Indiana, and refused to give his name and address when speaking to a member of the city's plan commission. Members of that commission, along with the city's legal department, refused to allow him to speak because he refused to identify himself. And listen, this is important. Pablo, if you're watching, if you're listening, because I know that you are, I've been talking to you, so I don't know if you're watching this specifically. What I would highly recommend you do from anymore in situations like this would be, because I always refuse to give my name. If I'm pushed, I refuse to give my name. If I'm pushed to give my name or address, I will fight that to the end. Okay. But if they just will not cease, what I always do is I give them a fake name and I give them their address. So, like, for example, if you have Commissioner John Doe or Counselor John Doe or Plan Commission member John Doe on the council, and John Doe lives at 310 Maple Street in Hobart, what I would do is I would say, no, I'm not going to give you my name and address. I don't have to give you my name and address. First of all, I don't need to be here. I don't need to be here from this area. I could have drove here and be here from California, and you guys cannot stop me from speaking. But if you need my address, I live at 310 Maple Street in Hobart, and I just give them their address. And I let them kind of like freak out about that because their addresses are public. We can find those addresses. And if they are so, if they're so caught up about me putting my name and my address on the record, then let's put their name and their address on the record. And you could always, do that. That's something that I would do, and let's see, how cool they are with that. So Pablo is from Maryville, Indiana, and he refused to give his name and address when speaking to members of the city's plan commission. Members of that commission, along with their city's legal department, refused to allow him to speak because he refused to identify himself. Fox Chicago reached out to the City of Hobart to get their side of the story. While Indiana state law does not specifically require a person to identify themselves when addressing a public body, it does say that municipalities may adopt reasonable rules to govern the taking of oral public comments. And let me be clear, breaking the First Amendment, all right, attempting to break or put guidance or restrictions or somehow changing the First Amendment is not reasonable. So that's where that's not going to help them anyway. And again, you can all thank J.D. Prescott for this nonsense. Screw J.D. Prescott, because he's the one that got this ball rolling. Okay. David Westland, who is part of the legal department for the city, said the city posted these rules prior to the meeting and read them aloud prior to public comment. Westland said the rule is in place for accurate record-keeping purposes and legal reasons in case there's a lawsuit against the city. That is so ridiculous today. Demanding forfeiture of the Fourth Amendment. Yes, it's not reasonable. Absolutely. You're exactly correct. It's also a Fourth Amendment issue. That's exactly correct. 100%, Admiral Eric. Yes. What the video shows, Fox Chicago obtained video of what happened as the man was being escorted out of the building by Hobart police. Pablo Payan can be heard asking officers if he's being arrested or being detained, but the officers kept saying, "You're leaving." This is happening as Payan is walking with officers in the hallway. As he continues to ask officers questions, an officer is seen pushing him over the railing and handcuffing him. In a press release, the city said in part, "We received inquiries regarding the Hobart Police Department's involvement in removing individuals from the Plan Commission meeting held on May 7th, 2026, at the Police Court Complex, 705 East 4th Street, Hobart, Indiana. Prior to the meeting, the Plan Commission advised attendees of the public hearing rules. These rules were also posted before entering the venue. Individuals wishing to speak during the public hearing were instructed to state their name, address, and phone number." That is totally insane to me. That is totally crazy for the public record. You know what? You know why I think that this would not happen? Why I'm not okay with this? I'm not okay with this because there is a lot of harassment that happens because of this. You don't need to give your name, and you can give your name. I don't give a shit if you give your name or not. You don't need to give your phone number and your address. That's ridiculous to me, okay? A 42-year-old male from Maryville, Indiana, was asked to leave after refusing to identify himself for the public hearing record. The commission attorney advised the individual multiple times that he would need to identify himself in order to speak. The individual continued speaking into the microphone, causing a disruption to the proceedings. The commission attorney then advised officers that the individual would need to be escorted from the building. Officers instructed the individual to leave. However, he refused and continued arguing with the commission attorney. Officers then escorted him out by guiding him by the shoulder. In the hallway between the courtroom and the venue exit, the individual stated he was not leaving and was subsequently placed under arrest for criminal trespass and disorderly conduct. However, in the video, Payan is not heard saying he refuses to leave. The other side, Pablo denies that he was being disruptive and denies that he refused to leave. He said that he was asking the officers questions about why he was being kicked out and if he's being arrested. In my opinion, I was kicked out to prove a point that the law is on their side, and if the people continue to try to express themselves and speak, they will also be intimidated or arrested by law enforcement. So I think it was a flex of power. The city of Hobart also acknowledged a second person was kicked out kicked out of a later meeting. Fox Chicago confirmed the second person was Angelita Serrano, who we've interviewed before about this data center project. The statement from the city said Serrano exceeded her allotted speaking time. After being advised that her time had expired, she continued speaking and began yelling loudly, causing a disruption to the public hearing. She was escorted from the venue but was not criminally charged, as she ultimately left voluntarily. Serrano told us she felt that there was selective enforcement of the rules when it came to the allotted two minutes. Remember, 2 minutes to speak up here. Speakers were allowed. She pointed out that a representative from NIPSCO was allowed to speak for more than 2 minutes and was not interrupted. Fox Chicago reached out to Hobart Police as well as Hobart Mayor Josh Hurlston for comment. We also asked them if they plan on following through with the pending charges against Payan. We are still waiting to hear back. Meanwhile, Payan told us he plans taking legal action against the city, as he should. Now, we are going to be talking with him on the phone tomorrow. I have made we've got a plan to talk with him, and I want him to come on. Now, I'm hoping that we will be able to get him on. I'm hoping that he won't be like, well, he might want to talk to an attorney first or whatever, and I get that. I'm hoping that we can get him on. He talked to Fox News here, so I'm hoping that we will be able to do that without much hassle or much delay. Obviously, anytime I've ever dealt with something like this, my attorneys have always said, hey, this is a First Amendment issue, a Fourth Amendment issue. We're not going to stop you from talking. Within reason, what to say, not to say. So hopefully we'll be able to get him on. Their rules in these cases are not valid. Just, that's the bottom line. It's not a valid that they're saying that these rules were put in place, yada, yada, yada. No, that's a bunch of crap. These rules were put in place to cause fear. These rules were put in place in an attempt at stopping people from engaging and being involved. And I've got a real problem with that. And I think that, everyone should have a real problem, and everyone should stand with Pablo. I hope that we'll have him on. Now, before we go from here, I want to show you this video.
Thank you. Concerned residents.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not upset. So you're saying that I can't speak during public comment? Am I being detained?
Oh, come on.
Well done.
Okay, so there's video number one. Give me 1 second here. I want to pull up this second video that shows the other side of it here, because it's the more telling. It's the more telling side. It actually shows him out, and it shows them like pushing him over this railing. I thought was very odd what they were doing. I cannot find, for the love of God. Well, I'll tell you what. When we have him on, I will do that. We'll get that other video on when we have him on. I don't want to delay this out any longer. Give me a second. See if I can find it here. This might be it. No. All right. We'll look for it when we have him on. Hopefully we will get him tomorrow evening. If not, maybe it will be Tuesday, but we'll shoot and see. I'm going to be talking to him tomorrow, so we'll see what happens, and we'll let you guys know. But I'm definitely against this. Don't care if it happens in Colorado. Don't care if it happens in Maine. Don't care if it happens in Florida. Don't care if it happens here in Muncie or Newcastle or Marion or Indianapolis. I don't care where this happens in Hobart. We are going to fight for it. We're going to push against this and help him in any way that we can, because this is definitely, in my opinion, a serious problem. Okay. Before we get ready to roll out of here, I do want to talk about this situation in Muncie. And we are going to talk about that just a little bit here tonight. And it's not like this is not a big thing. It's definitely something I'm looking into, because there's aspects of it that I'm concerned about. But then there are other aspects of it that I'm like less concerned with. But I also think it's funny. So we're going to talk about this new park in Muncie that seems to be coming together. I have that titled "More Can Muncie." Without an I, can MUNCE buy an iPad? Oh, I'm sure that's possible. So we will be talking about that. Give me one moment, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back, and we will finish the show up with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the last segment of the show, can I buy an I? Can Muncie buy an iPad? I did. Before we get there, I did see the situation in Clay Schools. Somebody sent me that. I have not looked through the report yet. I can't comment on it in any way, because I just happened to see the story, and then I went and I found the SBOA report, but I haven't read through it yet. So pop back in tomorrow or the next day. I'll keep you posted and let you know. And if it's something that we should definitely cover, I will let you know what's going on. But I'll read through that here after we get off the program. So this is kind of a strange situation. This is what Jackie was wanting to know about earlier. The Point Park in the city of Muncie. Okay, we've been talking about this for some time. I want to say, man, it's been like 2 years, maybe longer, that we've been dealing with something going on at this Point Park, the place in Muncie where the High Street Plaza used to be. For all of the people that remember, anybody that was in law enforcement, there used to be a police uniform and like outfit apparel store that was in there that was just absolutely awesome. You could go there, you could order your badges, you could get your uniforms. They had the right uniforms for Muncie, for the Delaware County Sheriff's Department, for all the departments through here. Like you could get the exact color. You didn't have to be like a little off from everybody else. Like if you ordered it through Goals or somewhere else, like they had everything that you needed. You could go and buy new handcuffs there. You could buy your batons, your ASP. I'm sure at one point or another you could buy the PR-24. So I think Randy Howard would have liked the store, but that eventually went out of business, and that little section there was basically leveled, and then it was just nothing for a very long time. And I agree. Look, I agree that the city of Muncie needed to do something with it. I don't necessarily agree what we are doing with it was the right call. I think what we're doing with it is, in my opinion, a ginormous waste of money, you know? I just I don't really understand what we're doing, why we're doing it. And so I'm going to put this up here on the map here and show you guys so you guys can see. For those of you that aren't from Muncie, or for those of you that are in Muncie, but you're like, where are you talking? I don't know where you're talking. So let me remove the banner here, ladies and gentlemen, and I will show you what we're talking about. Okay. So this is the city of Muncie. All right. We'll blow this out here and let you see basically. And we're basically right downtown Muncie. Okay. We're looking down at Muncie from the heavens here. We're scooting in. Okay. This blue roof here to the bottom of the screen is City Hall. All right. The old Delaware County Jail that's now the Washington Square Residences. These amazing condos are right here. The Delaware County Courthouse, the old Delaware County building, this shape here, this Tetris shape, is right here. So this street right here is High Street. Walnut is the street that's over here in front of these buildings. And then this little area here, ladies and gentlemen, is the strip of land that has been come to be known as the High Street Point. Okay, because it comes up here to this point between Franklin and High Street. And it's right there at the White River, right there by Weiser and the High Street Bridge. And then this is Wheeling right here. Okay. Well, for those of you that have been long-term viewers of this program, you will know that back when Charlize lived in the city of Muncie, before Charlize moved, this was an area that Charlize was concerned about and would talk about when going to the Muncie Redevelopment Commission meetings, could never really get much information, would take pictures of this lot in this area here. And I'm going to bring us down here to the street view, okay? And we're going to spin around here. And on the street view, you can actually see where this has been closed off here. I'm going to try to bring us up here, all right? And you can see they've got cement poured out there. The banners that are hanging on the fence say Flatland Resources. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The company Flatland Resources have been in charge of this project. And if you are someone that listens to the Muncie Board of Works meetings with any regularity, you will hear, well, you probably won't hear their names. If you watch the Board of Works and then you are interested and you go in and you look at the claims, you probably won't hear Flatland mentioned. They get mentioned maybe every 3 or 4 months for one thing or another, but we are paying them weekly, monthly for various things going on in the city. Flatland Resources are involved on a lot of different projects. They're involved with the Till Pond. They're involved with the Hill Street or the High Street Point here. And they are getting paid damn good money to be doing whatever they are doing here. Now, let me tell you that this has just been basically a whole lot of nothing for a very long time. Well, that was until here recently when, let me go here to the post. I noticed this last night in a Muncie Facebook group that someone had actually taken the picture of this park and posted on, and a lot of you commented on this. I saw several of our viewers who had commented different things about this. And there were people who were in support, people who were not in support, people who felt, different ways about this. And look, I'm going to be honest. I'm not knocking this. There are aspects of this I'm knocking, and there are other aspects of this that I'm kind of joking about a little bit. But then there are also aspects of this that, like, I really have a problem with, specifically the just the amount of money that we're paying on this for whatever reason. I will never know. But let me get this pulled up here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, right here we are. Okay, I knew I could find it. Okay. So, in What's Up Muncie, they posted Carrie Lloyd posted. Let me see if I can get view post. Okay, here we go. Shared this picture, okay? Now, I'll be honest. This picture here, it looks okay. It looks cool. It looks, I'll put it to you this way. It looks better than this. That picture that you see there looks better than this by far, okay? There's no question. Now, how much should we pay for this? Like that might be a thing that we should figure out. How much did we pay for this? That would probably be something to figure out. All right. But so what is this we're looking at here? Well, this is the Muncie, M-U-N-C. And then this is one of those things like where if you've ever been to Indy, you'll see these in Indy where there's the letters and it says NDY and the I is missing, and you're supposed to go stand where the I is, and then you take a picture and you're the I. Okay. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I don't have a problem with this as it is. Like, it's kind of cool. Here it's lit up. Let me show you what it looks like lit up. This is pretty cool. Okay. I think this is kind of cool. Like, I think this is cool. It shows this like white mark. And if you don't know what that is, if you're maybe not from Muncie, or you just don't pay attention to things like that, what this is, that white mark is, let me see if I can get it here. The white mark, ladies and gentlemen, is the river. And I think that's kind of cool. All right. You can see it as we zoom out here. Here's the river. Okay. Let me get that nonsense off there. Okay. Okay. There's White River. All right. Going back to the Muncie sign. All right. Here's White River. All right. So you can see it, and it makes the line mark, everything. What I thought was kind of odd about this, the thing that I thought was weird was you've got Indiana where the I is supposed to be. All right. And when we're allowed to be over there, I would assume the point is you stand between the C and the E, and people take a picture of you, and you're making the I in Muncie. I noticed that it looks like to me they have put a dot in here. You see this dot? It's right there by my cursor. I actually put my cursor just under the dot. Now, in my mind, I think because there's no other dots on that map, it's all straight lines. I would think the dot would be where the city of Muncie is supposed to be. Or you know what? Maybe that's not even a dot. Maybe that's just... let me go to the other picture and see. Nope, it's there. That dot's there. It's because it's there in the other picture. So I have to assume that dot is supposed to be where Muncie is at. Okay? Only the problem is that dot is not where Muncie's at. That dot is where Union City is at. So for whatever reason, Muncie, that sign... why is the dot where Union City should be? I'm going to put my cursor where the dot should be. For those of you that don't know, the dot should be like about right here. Oh, sorry, I haven't done that yet. The dot should be about right here. I mean, that's quite a bit off. That's quite a bit of a difference. Like, why is it that big of a difference? Like, I would be like, hey, come fix this. Now, obviously, I don't want to pay for that. I don't want to pay to fix it. I don't want Dan to pay to fix it. I don't want the city to pay to fix it. You know, I don't want anyone to do any crime. Maybe some artist will fix it. Some street artist will fix it someday. I don't know. I'm not telling you that I should do that. I just want to know how much we paid for this. You know, because this is cool, I guess. It's cool. It's neat. You know, I just, at least, it would look better if Indiana was the same size as the letters. Yeah, there's a lot of things weird with this. Is it just the dot for the imaginary eye? Yeah, but right. But it would still make better sense. It would still make better sense if the dot was, because the dot is right over the E. But listen, to me, I feel like you could have made a big dot in there, which would be the dot for the imaginary eye, and still placed it where Muncie actually is on the map. If you place it where Muncie is on the map, it's where my yellow cursor is right now. That's where it would be. And that's still a little off. Like if it's right here, it's more like Indianapolis. Just a weird deal. Just very, very strange. This is just a weird deal. I just would like to know how much money we spent on this. And you're right. Wait, Lenny, this is my hobby. It's my job and my hobby. That's the problem. No, I don't know. Listen, I'm not griping about this. It's cool. It's whatever. I do think in the grand scheme of things, like I'd like to know how much money we spent on this. Is that important? Here's what I believe. I think we have paid far more money out for this and everything else Flatland Resources have completed at this area, as well as whatever the hell they have done and or not done at Till Pond. Okay? I think we need to stop paying Flatland Resources for things. Okay? That's just really, really strange. You know, I don't know what the deal is with Flatland Resources. I don't know why we are paying them so much money for what it looks to be like. They're getting paid more money for little work. You know what I mean? So, just a crazy thing. I don't know. We'll have to figure out what goes on. I'm going to request the records for how much this has cost. They're not done. They're not done. This is not done. As we can see, there's still a fence around it. So they've got apparently more work to be doing. So they're not done working. they're not done sending us claims, and we're not done sending them checks. And Dan was just on. Dan was on saying, like, we're cutting the crisis center. We're cutting the crisis center because we cannot afford it. We can't pay for it anymore. And edit money is going to go away in the year 2029. We will not have edit money. But yet we're handing money hand over fist to Dan's friends for crap like this. At least if we're going to pay god-awful loads amounts of money for this, let's do it and make it look perfect. You know what I mean? I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. I don't know what's going on with the ads. We don't obviously see any. I think maybe Kate will be back tomorrow. Or I don't know when Kate will be back. Kate, when will you be back? I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I don't know. I think she told me. I don't know. Muncie's Gateway Park, which is in the city of Muncie. It's so stupid. It's not a gateway park. You have to go all the way through Muncie to get to this park from any side. It's not a gateway. It's like the center of Muncie. All right, she'll be home tomorrow. So we'll see what's going on with the ads. You guys take care. God bless. Have a good evening. We'll be back more put together tomorrow. I generally am not this flustered when Kate's away, but the problem is my monitor went down right as I was going live. And so that's what has me. I can't see anything. I can't see what's going on. So I'm kind of going on the fly. So, oh, everybody said click the X. That's what Kate said. And you'll get rid of the... There you go. Kate and Admiral Eric fixed it right here. You go. Ads just cover the chat. No big deal. Just click the X. And Admiral Eric says, I get ads in the chat area on my phone, but not my PC. We're doing what we can. We've got the ads as cranked down as possible as we can, folks. We're not trying to rape you guys. So, all right, you guys take care. Good night. God bless. We will see you tomorrow. Hit that like button before you leave. That would be fantastic. And we will see you then. Good night. Goodbye.